I cannot believe this as we see the Lakers take a big win against the Minnesota Timberwolves in a game that saw Luka struggle and LeBron James carry most of the way. But one of the big concerns now is injuries to not only Rui Hachimura, but LeBron James as well towards the midway, point of the game as well as the end of the game. We're going to break down that and discuss what it means going forward, but also discuss the victory as the Lakers win yet again. Stay tuned for all that, as well as some interesting action from Luka Doncic throughout the game. But before we get into it, if you're part of the 83% or aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers with Hunter. What a weird game. A bit of an ugly one. They were leading by a lot. There was a little bit there where I thought after the first quarter it was going to be a bit of a blowout. We saw Ant get ejected. It was wild. LeBron James looks like he's dealing. Obviously, we know he's dealing with something, but it looks like he may have re-aggravated in tonight's game. Going to dive into all that. But the Lakers did get the win at the end of the day, and it is a good one. It was a big win, an important win against a very solid team, albeit they didn't have Ant for basically the last 18 minutes or so, 18 to 20 minutes of the game here. They got the job done. Luka struggled after a good first quarter, finished a little bit better with that crazy corner circus shot clock shot. LeBron carried the way. Injuries are going to be the concern now, and it is going to be an interesting game tomorrow on the second night of a back-to-back with the way that these injuries happen to Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, even Luka grimacing at his calf at times.
Yeah, this was definitely a really ugly game, and it got uglier, I feel like, as each quarter progressed in this one. And I just had a feeling when Anthony Edwards got ejected, I'm like, the Timberwolves are going to find a way to come back in this game because this is not a team that is solely reliant on Anthony Edwards to generate their entire offense. They got a lot of really good players, and that showed. You had Jane McDaniels started playing a little bit better in that second half. Terrible game from Naz Reid, which is ironic because he always kills the Lakers every single time they play them. Terrence Shannon Jr., easily the best game he's had of his career, and I think he had a career high a couple games before this. So he's someone who's a rookie out of the University of Illinois who's playing a really important role for the Timberwolves as they are dealing with a few injuries with Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert not playing for them right now. So the Timberwolves kept it close. But yet again, we see another Lakers win where they get a big lead early on. The team naturally, and kind of just happens when basketball comes back, but the Lakers never lost the lead. I don't think they ever even tied the game at any point in the second half. So this was a game that they did ultimately win, which is good. The Timberwolves are a good team that, is a few games back of the Lakers. So that's just one extra game now the Lakers have up on the T-Wolves. But on top of that as well, going to be really interesting tomorrow, Nick, because we saw Rui leave this game. We saw LeBron tweak the hamstring. Who knows how Luka Doncic is going to look in back-to-backs. Even Jared Vanderbilt, they've been, in a sense, kind of managing his minutes as well as he didn't play basketball for almost a full year. And they're playing a Clippers team that they smoked the last time they played. And on a back-to-back, I'm sure the Clippers are going to be more hyped up and motivated to go out there and avenge their loss from the previous time these two teams played.
Yeah, you have people very concerned about not only, like you mentioned, some of the injuries, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens in tomorrow's game. Rui Hachimura as well, he was out for the rest of the game due to a left knee strain, so that's something to keep an eye on. But I think most of the fans out there are more concerned with what's going to happen with LeBron James. I want to get your thoughts on this. We'll dive into Luka as well a little bit. LeBron tonight, 33 points, 17 rebounds, a fantastic, fantastic game. However, down the stretch, we saw him dealing with a bit of the injury. He was fighting it a bit, and this is something they're going to have to monitor. I wouldn't be surprised if both Luka and LeBron don't play in tomorrow night's game. Might be the Austin Reaves show. Shout out to Austin Reaves, had 23 points as well. Luka in a really bad game, had still 21 points. That just goes to show him great on the defensive glass as well. But as it pertains to LeBron James' injury, I'm seeing some reactions on Twitter already. We don't have any, concrete evidence he's going to miss time, but people are starting to speculate that he's going to miss some time with an injury, dealing with. He was questionable coming into tonight's game, ultimately got promoted to probable and then played. However, hamstrings are no joke, and this is going to be something to keep an eye out on. He is 40 years old. Are you concerned about LeBron's? Obviously, I'm not too concerned about his availability tomorrow, but beyond that.
Yeah, I guess the question is, hamstring injuries, unfortunately, are injuries where it can be nagging, right? They don't just typically go away. It could be something where, I don't know, maybe he had like a Charlie horse or something like that, and it's really not that bad. But it didn't look great. He did finish the game, which is good. But a part of that's adrenaline. The blood's already flowing. How does LeBron feel tomorrow, right? How does he feel? The good thing is this back-to-back is obviously in Los Angeles. They don't have to travel or anything like that. So maybe it was just a stinger or something like that. We're not really going to know. I'm watching my phone right now, seeing if we get any updates on LeBron. We did get an update about Rui Hachimura from JJ Redick. He did say that They're gonna evaluate him over the next 24 hours, and that he doesn't want to speculate, but he hopes it's nothing serious. So obviously that's pretty good. I mean, Rui Hachimura a couple games ago left for a little bit, did end up coming back, although it didn't seem like that was a knee injury, seemed like more of a back spasm. So it is gonna be an interesting game tomorrow, Nick, because I don't know if either of those guys are going to play. And while the Lakers have nice depth, all it takes is a couple players to be out, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, now we're really thin. So it's going to have to be a big game for Austin Reaves. He's probably going to get 25 shots in tomorrow's game, and we'll see how Luka is too, because he's been a little up and down. Clearly he's not 100% yet, and it is crazy to think that the Lakers are winning all these games with Luka Doncic, despite the fact that we really haven't seen peak Luka yet, which means the Lakers still have another gear that they can get to that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that obviously we're talking about them dealing with injuries later, they're winning the games, and that's the crazy part about it. I think Luka, I'm hoping he plays tomorrow. That being said, he was looking a little bit tired out there, looking a little bit, maybe not fully in game shape yet, and also dealing with, grabbing at his injury that he's been dealing with for a while, which still put up 21 and 13, which is just because of how great Luka Doncic is. And you mentioned Austin Reaves. You saw a game there a little bit ago when Austin Reaves had that crazy game in the absence of LeBron and Luka Doncic before the All-Star break. So, I mean, it might be something similar to that where we see an Austin Reaves game tomorrow. Like you mentioned, it's still in LA against the Clippers. It's going to be a very interesting one. Now, I do ultimately think that they need to win. Now, we could also not have Rui Hachimura, so they might be without Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, Luka Doncic. We might see some Alex Len minutes, some Cam Reddish minutes, some crazy things like that. But at the end of the day, I want to see them continue to actually win the games. But also, I think we need to make sure that LeBron and Luka stay as healthy as possible. Specifically LeBron as well, because he's going to want to play. Hamstrings are no joke. We saw him walk directly to the locker room after the game as soon as the whistle blew. And that's the big concern for me now, is LeBron James going to be healthy going forward? Probably have a ton of updates about it tomorrow, but that's the biggest concern now. Also, shout out Jordan Goodwin, some really good minutes off of the bench tonight as well, when the Lakers were in a desperate stretch for some offense, and he hit a filthy snatchback pull-up midi.
Yeah, no, he definitely did. And also too, guys, March 1st is the deadline for signing guys onto your roster. And so if there is a certain update perhaps on a Jordan Goodwin or a different player that could be signed to the Lakers, we'll definitely cover it here. And Jordan Goodwin's definitely, I think, earned this opportunity. He's in the rotation, firmly in the rotation. He's played really good minutes defensively, kind of gets those scrappy points that, kind of add up, right? If you win a game by 8 points like the Lakers did, Jordan Goodwin had 7, so like those scrappy points do make
2
a big
steals
difference.
as well.
2 steals, really good defender. He's big, he's strong, sturdy, and someone who JJ Redick clearly trusts a ton, and he has made the most out of a really good opportunity that he's gotten since he's been here in LA.
Yeah, compliments Luka pretty well as well, especially given his defense, and he can kind of help this team, especially when they are either dealing with injuries or just like tonight. I mean, we saw some horrific offense in that fourth quarter, really in the second half in general. It was a crazy game. Ant got ejected. They should have won by more, but you take the win and you move on. We're going to keep you up to date with all the latest news because a lot of things are dropping as it pertains to the Lakers. So make sure to subscribe button. See you guys later.